Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Sky Sports 101 Monday Night Football postgame show. The Steelers seem to have a stroke of luck, and Week 9 of the 2021 NFL season was chock full of upsets, and there was nearly another one on Monday Night Football. With Bears rookie Justin Fields exploding in the fourth quarter to a comeback attempt in Pittsburgh, but the Steelers would and had the last laugh on a scrappy night full of big hits and polarizing penalties and special teams blunders, with Chris Boswell kicking a 54-yard game-winning field goal and sealing a 29-27 Steelers victory over the Bears, giving Pittsburgh their fourth straight victory, including the AFC and inching the AFC North contenders one step closer to the division-leading Ravens. The Bears fall to 3-6 on the season with Monday's narrow defeat, their fourth straight. The Steelers, meanwhile, are 5-3 on the season and are officially on a hot streak after opening the year 1-3, even if their journey to this point has never looked pretty. And that's to say the least. The reason why Pittsburgh won is they kept the ball going on offense. Their offense played really hard, and they got nasty on defense. But Ben Roethlisberger had a good night, but he was never threatening at times. He never was. And and really had, but they really had a commanding night in this game. But the Bears tried to make a comeback. They had a chance, but in the end, Pittsburgh got the win. And Mike Tomlin sat down and smiled and let out a sarcastic laugh. He needed to do that. And now, why the Bears lost? There was poor coaching, and the offense looked up pitiful, and there was poor defensive play. But they did. Justin Fields exploded, as you know, as I said, in the fourth quarter. And I just really feel that the Bears did not look good in this game. And I'll give game balls out in just a moment. But right now, hold on a minute. But right now, I'm going to recap this game for you right now. First quarter. The Bears went 3-0 and had to punt after 3 plays and 8 yards. Then the Steelers scored their first touchdown of the game. Najee Harris left guard for a 10-yard touchdown. Boswell's extra point is good, and it's 7-0 Steelers. Then the Bears went 3-0 and had to punt again after 3 plays and 4 yards. The Steelers went 3-0 and had to punt after 6 plays and 8 yards. And then the Bears had an interception at 2nd and 11 at the Chicago 42. Justin Fields pass short middle intended for Derek Mooney. Intercepted by Hayward at the Chicago 36, and it was for no gain. And it was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. And then in the beginning of the second quarter, the Steelers scored their second touchdown of the game. Ben Roethlisberger passed short to left Pat Freiermuth for a 4-yard touchdown. Chris Boswell's extra point is good, and it was 14-0 Steelers. The Bears went 3 and out and had to punt after 3 plays and 7 yards. And the Steelers went 3 and out after 4, had to punt after 4 plays and 3 yards. And then the Bears got the ball back, but then they went 3 and out again after 4 plays and 12 yards. Then the Steelers got the ball back and they went 3 and out after punt after 3 plays and 9 yards. Then the Bears tried to get into the field goal range to the end zone for a touchdown, but couldn't do it. They were not able to. They had to settle for a field goal. Santos kicked a 30-yard field goal attempt, and it was good. It was 14-3 Steelers. And then, and at the end of the half, and Roethlisberger, Santos kicks a 65-yard yards from Chicago 35 to the end zone for a touchback, and then 1st and 10 at Pittsburgh 25. But Roethlisberger kneels for -1 yards, and it was 14-3 at halftime. Third quarter, the Steelers had the ball and had the punt after going 3 and out after 3 plays and 22 yards. And then the Bears tried to get into the end zone for a touchdown but couldn't do it. Santos kicked a 22-yard field goal attempt and it was good. It was 14-6 Steelers. Then and the Steelers scored their third touchdown of the game. The Ben Roethlisberger's pass short to Pat Freiermuth for a 10-yard touchdown. The penalty was on Chicago. I think it was Keenan Vitter. Defensive pass interference was declined. And Boswell's extra point was no good. It was 20-6. Steelers. And then at the end of the third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, that's when the Bears started to explode, and Justin Fields started to explode. Direct snap to David Montgomery, and Derek Mooney left in for a 15-yard touchdown. Santos' extra point is good. It was 20-13. Then the Steelers tried to get into the end zone for a touchdown, but could not do it. And then Chris Boswell kicked a 53-yard field goal and it was good. And it was good. It was 23-13 Steelers. Then the and then the Bears. Then the Bears. Let me go back here. The Steelers had the ball and had the punt to 3 and out, 6 plays and 3 yards, and then the Bears had the ball and they had the punt after going 3 plays and 3 yards after going 3 and out. Then the Steelers tried to get in the end zone for a touchdown but couldn't do it, and they had to settle for a field goal. That was a Chris Boswell field goal. That was there was a touchdown for the Bears. Pat O'Donnell punts a 57-yard center to Rob McLeod, and it was fumbled, but then recovered by Chicago. D. Houston Carson at the Pittsburgh 25. D. Houston Carson for a 25-yard touchdown. Santos' extra point is good. It was 23-20. Now the Steelers tried to get into the end zone for a touchdown, but could not do it. And they had to and they had to settle for another field goal. And hold on, before that, Justin Fields passed deep left to Derek Mooney for a 16-yard touchdown. Santos extra point is good, and it was 27-26. Then the Steelers tried to get into the end zone for a touchdown, but couldn't do it. Chris Boswell's 40-yard field goal attempt was good, and it was 20. The Bears had the lead, but then the Steelers tried to get into the end zone for a touchdown, but couldn't do it. And then the Steelers got Chris Boswell's 40-yard field goal was good, and it was 29-27. And the Bears had one last opportunity, and that was got first and they got the Boswell kicked it off for a 65 yards from the Pittsburgh 35 to the end zone for a touchback. First and 10, Justin Fields pass incomplete, short right to Kmet, and then second and 10, Justin Fields pass short left to D. Montgomery, who ran out of bounds for 30 to Chicago 32 for 7 yards. And then there was a penalty on Pittsburgh, and it was on Pierre illegal contact for 5 yards. He forced up to Chicago 25, no play. First and 10, Justin Fields pass short right to Kmet, pushed out of bounds at the Pittsburgh 47 for 12 yards. Justin Fields pass incomplete short right, and look at my Matt Goodwin, and then this is when Carlos Santos tried to kick the 65-yard field goal, and it was no good. And nonetheless, the Steelers get the win. They prevail by the final score of 29-27. The game balls. Ben Roethlisberger, 21 of 32 carries and attempts, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Najee Harris, 22 attempts, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. And Pat Freiermuth, 5 receptions, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns. So those are the game balls, and it's just one of those games where it was scrappy football playing. So, but Pittsburgh gets the win. So now we'll look ahead to Week 10 and tell you what's coming up then in Week 10. Starting off with Thursday Night Football that will kick off Week 10. The Baltimore Ravens travel to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami to take on the Dolphins. And that'll be an 8:15 start. Then Sunday on November 14th, the Atlanta Falcons will travel to AT&T Stadium in Big D to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who are coming off a win over Buffalo, will travel to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Cleveland Browns will try to keep their momentum going and try to beat the New England Patriots at Foxborough at Gillette Stadium on Sunday. And that's also a 1 o'clock start. The Buffalo Bills will go to MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, to take on the New York Jets. The Detroit Lions will try to get their first win of the season as they will travel to Heinz Field at Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The New Orleans Saints will travel to Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady and company, will travel to Washington to take on at FedEx Stadium to take on the Washington football team. The Carolina Panthers will travel out to University of Phoenix Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona, in Glendale, Arizona, to take on the Cardinals. And in the late games, the 4 o'clock games, the Minnesota Vikings will travel to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Philadelphia Eagles will travel to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos. And the Seattle Seahawks will travel to Green Bay, Wisconsin to take on the Packers at legendary Lambeau Field. The Kansas City Chiefs will travel to Las Vegas to Allegiant Stadium to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. On Sunday Night Football, that'll be an 8:20 start. And Monday Night Football, the Rams will travel to San Francisco to Levi Stadium to take on the 49ers. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football post-game show. I'll be back with the Thursday Night Football pre-game show and post-game show before and after the Ravens-Dolphins game. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day, and even with possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.